Well, yes, it is the second day of actual trial testimony. We've heard from about 19 witnesses at this point. The state's attorney hasn't finished with his case yet. We want to make sure that all the facts that are pertinent to what Susan has done to this family is played out. And so I'd like to wait until after the state's attorney is finished with their case before I make any comments or judgment about that. But certainly, as it relates to what we're at right now, there's a lot of evidence still left out there to show what Susan was doing. You may have heard some of the testimony about the door, but you've heard evidence that there is nothing to show that this door was broken or anything. That's the state's entire case, and the point of this is not something that is a self-defense for Susan. This is about Susan using lethal force to kill AJ through a locked door. She had no regard for a human life, any life at that point on the other side of that door, and she shot through that door recklessly and carelessly, and with the intent, we believe, to harm AJ Owens.
Pamela, you heard testimony, you heard in the interview with detectives, Susan was saying to the detectives that yes, she shot through the door, not knowing what was on the other side, and the detective brings up that Isaac and Izzy could have been there. What's that like for you, hearing that your grandchildren were as well?
Words can't describe how that feels, to know that she shot, and very well we all know she did kill my daughter. That in itself is hurtful. But also the fact that one of them could have been injured or killed as well is beyond any emotion or feeling that can truly be expressed to fully explain. Susan, she set out to cause harm. She succeeded. She set out to kill, and it's exactly what she did. And it could have been not just my daughter, it could have been my grandsons, and it could have been other members of the community. Clearly, as Attorney Thomas stated, she has no regards for any form of human life, certainly not my family.
And seeing her, as you're hearing all of this, she's sitting there in the courtroom. This is a person who's done your family so much harm. How are you able to maintain composure? I saw that it's been difficult at times.
Difficult is putting it very mildly. The amount of emotions, the disgust, the anguish, the pain, to sit there literally feet away from the woman who took my daughter's life. I've seen testimony, the interrogation, where she showed no remorse, continues to show no remorse, displayed the utmost care and concern for her cats. And she literally had just shot and killed a mom of 4, rendering them with their entire support system, their everyday childhood experiences, future, just gone, just like that. I had to dig deep within my strength, my faith, to hold it all together.
Seems like there have been a lot more friends here who were able to be here today to support you guys, a lot more people on that side of the courtroom. How does that feel?
I think that's one of the elements that keeps me going. It uplifts me to have such wonderful people that are not just friends, that they're family, to go down this journey, this road with me. I understand they too are hurting and grieving. This doesn't just impact myself, it impacts them as well, because they also had a close relationship with her. with Ajike. But this gives me, when I'm down, when I feel like I can't do it, I have them to speak words of encouragement to me and help uplift me through these difficult times.
Your daughter's sons, it looks like, will potentially be testifying as well. I imagine that has been emotional to sort of get them ready through that time and relive that moment.
Yes, absolutely. Personally, I wish that they did not have to testify, but if this is what it takes to get justice, then this is what we have to do. They are eager as well to see justice served, to have Susan prosecuted and behind bars. They do feel anxious, but fortunately, this is where Susan has brought us to. This is where we're at. And it's sad that they have to relive that night. That's going to stay with them for the rest of their lives. But this is one step in potentially closing a chapter and moving forward in true and complete healing, if that's even possible.
Anything else that's been on y'all's mind or that you hope the public would understand?
Well, what we want the public to understand is, no matter what the charges are, this family needs Susan behind bars. Susan cannot walk away free, roaming around the streets of Ocala, while AJ's children are also walking around in these streets. That's not okay. As a matter of fact, it's a slap in the face to this entire family.
I have been wondering how you feel about the charges of manslaughter as opposed to murder.
Well, initially, we wanted a murder 2 charge. We know the facts, we know the history between AJ and Susan, and what led up to that deadly night when Susan decided to shoot through the door. And so because of that history, murder 2 we thought was the appropriate charge. Unfortunately, our state's attorney's office didn't feel the same way. It seems as though the state's attorney would like this to play out as easy as possible. I think given the elements of manslaughter versus a murder 2 charge, it may be easier for our state's attorney to get a conviction with manslaughter.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.